Apple reported its first annual revenue decline in 15 years, and that's reflected in pre-market trading this morning. Here's a look at the action in Apple stock in the pre-market trade, and you can see that stock is down about 3%. Joining us from New York is Santosh Rao. He's head of research at Manhattan Venture Partners, and he joins us from New York. Santosh, it's always good to have you here, and thanks for being available to us today. The problem here is not the sales of iPhones. We knew that was going to decline. It's the forward-looking guidance. What exactly does the market not like about the guidance?
Yeah, so I think a few things going on. First of all, thanks for having me. Like you said, this quarter was neither here nor there. They just met expectations. But there were a few red flags. I mean, the ASPs are kind of coming down slightly, which is not very good. Be able to make it up with say iPhone 7 Plus. But I think those were the red flags. I think what's bothering people, investors, is that given the Samsung debacle, and just the overall Chinese decline, I think, rather the Indian market that he's talking about, people expected estimates to be much higher. Plus, they thought iPhone 7 would be much bigger than what they have guided to. So I think net, I think it's still a growth quarter. They're finally coming back to some growth areas. It's not a bad estimate. It's above consensus in most areas. But I think people, in a way, Apple is a victim of its own success. They've set expectations so high. They report good numbers. Even on a soft quarter, they sold 46 million iPhones, which is good. But I think they set their bar so high, so you will see the expectations have to meet reality now. So there's a big reset going on.
So Santosh, this is Gavin. Do you think that they have a new product in the hopper that could actually help drive the next stage of growth? Because obviously some of the incremental changes that have been made have not enthused people, perhaps. Is there something that on the horizon that might actually help drive growth?
Yes. So I think everyone knew about iPhone 7, so that's not an issue. In a way, this fiscal 2017 is a bridge to 2018. So what everyone's waiting for the next iPhone upgrade. It has a good tailwind behind it. It's supposed to be a big super cycle where there's a whole bunch of more than 200 million iPhones ready to be upgraded. A lot of people on the smaller screen phones. I think 13% of the base is still on older phones. So there is a lot of pent-up demand out there. And iPhone 8 is expected to be much better and a super phone, to say the least. And I think people are waiting for that. And besides that, I think what's holding the stock is the services business, which was very strong. And I think that's expected to get bigger. So I think between services, iPhone 8 expectations, and any new product introduction that they might have, I think there will be enough to keep investors at bay.
Will the iPhone 8 have the flexible screens? I speak to a couple of people on Apple, some of them who know the company very well. They do expect flexible screens to be the big difference maker in iPhone 8. Is that your expectation as well?
Yes, that's very well been telegraphed all over. So I think that's definitely going to be there. And then I think you're going to see a lot of AI applications in there. The Siri is going to be much more functional. They're using machine language to make it much better. So I think you are going to see some enhancements there. The camera, I'm sure, will get even better. Apple Pay, Apple Music. I think the whole experience of staying in the iPhone ecosystem is going to be much better. And that's the expectations.
We've noted that service revenue is still fairly modest. Why are you so bullish on where services are going at Apple?
Yeah, it's modest compared to the overall revenue size, but it's still as much as a Fortune 100 company. It's closer to 25 billion. It's not a small number. But what's happening is I think the services is important because that helps to keep people in the ecosystem. And they have a number of levers there to pull. They have Apple Pay, Apple Music, and a whole range of other things that they can use to really keep people in there. And that's a big thing. They need that stickiness because at the end of the day, hardware is as good as the last device. You're not going to be able to keep them there. So you need these services. I think overall, maybe become a platform down the road, which is the expectation. And the service is going to be a big part of this whole mix that Apple is going to offer.
Okay, lastly, Santosh, you like this stock. You think it remains a compelling value stock. You think it should be part of core holdings. Explain briefly why.
Yeah, so when you look at it, Apple is still they have a very large cash holding. They're still trading at a discount to S&P and roughly 13 times forward earnings, and 11 times X cash. So I think for a company that still has growth ahead of it, number of levers that it can pull, India is still open. China could turn back. iPhone 7, we still don't know, but iPhone 8 is expected to be. So there's so many other catalysts down the road. So they deserve a benefit of doubt. You're not going to go wrong by holding on to it and maybe get some incremental bump here and there with the news flow.
Santosh, always good to speak to you on the Apple numbers. Thank you for being available to us today again.
Thank you.
Santosh Rao, Head of Research at Manhattan Venture Partners in New York City.